Hello, and thank you so much for joining us on Tips for the Transition, the Career Roadmap, where we share information to challenge you to think differently about your professional journey so you can live the life you deserve. I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan. Each week I chat with experts to share their zones of genius and bring you our collective resources to encourage you to be more confident, resilient, and brave in your career and life choices. We stream live weekly, Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific time on the E360 TV network, which you can find on your favorite streaming platforms like Roku and Apple TV and Amazon Fire. And we go live simultaneously on YouTube, LinkedIn, and Facebook, where you can interact with us. And if you love to listen on the go, we are also on your favorite podcast channels. So if something inspires you today and you want more, please subscribe to your favorite channel, leave us a comment, and share your favorite episodes. Share them broadly so we can create more ripples in the world for women. So once again, as I often do, I am going to start with a question for you. How much do you know about the impact of your subconscious mind on your life and career? So often we say things like, it is what it is, or it's out of my hands. My next guest will help us to take back control of how we think about things. Adelajda Child is a certified PSYCH-K instructor and wellness expert. She has transformed her life through the power of neuroscience and the subconscious mind. We'll hear about Adelajda's journey from struggling with personal roadblocks to becoming a global wellness expert. It's an inspiring story you're going to want to hear. She'll share her experiences and insights into how the subconscious mind influences our behavior and decisions. She'll introduce us to the PSYCH-K method, a tool she found to be life-changing, and how you can use it to overcome your own challenges. So whether you're facing a significant roadblock or simply looking to grow professionally and personally, this conversation is for you. We'll pack it with practical advice to help you harness the power of your mind. So stay with us to the end to learn how to unlock your potential and achieve greater success in life and work. There's so much to cover, so let's get started. Welcome, Adelajda. How are you?
I'm good. Hi, Maria. Thank you so much for having me. Hi, everyone.
It is my pleasure. I am looking forward to this conversation because it is a new to me methodology for overcoming challenges and roadblocks. So I'm really eager to dig into this a little bit. So let's start. I want to ask you what initially led you to look into the subconscious mind and neuroscience for yourself. What were you experiencing at the time?
Well, certainly my life hasn't been a straight path. Even though I finished college and I started my adult life, I found myself unhappy and lost in my career and jumping from one toxic relationship to another toxic relationship. And what I noticed is, as well with my work, as my relationships, I was so lost, and and I couldn't really understand what's happening until I truly crashed and burned. And once I crashed and burned, it was time for me to just stop what I was doing and start my journey on self-discovery, and what helped me that back. And this is that the journey basically brought me to neuroscience.
Okay, so I'd love to dig into that a little bit. So, what can you tell us what the specific roadblock was you faced before you started exploring these methods for personal growth, and how did kind of a two-part question here. Did understanding neuroscience and the subconscious mind play a role in
Mhm.
overcoming that roadblock? Tell us a little more.
So, as I mentioned, my career, let's say, have you ever found yourself, or maybe one of our listeners, that no matter how hard you work, you never have enough? Or no matter how many hours you put, it's just living paycheck to paycheck. And I found myself living from paycheck to paycheck. And when I crashed and burned, basically, I found myself living back with my parents at age 27 when I was depressed and I had no money. It was just me and my cat and a suitcase. I finally had basically stopped doing what I was doing. And I started to not only asking the right questions finally, is like what I've been doing wrong, and everything basically was wrong what I was doing. So then I found the first book that was called, what a cliche, Awakening, from Anthony DeMello, where there was this one sentence, and the sentence made me actually very angry at the beginning, because it said, "You create your own reality." And I was like, wait a minute, what are you talking about? I've created my own reality? No, I've started to blame everything and everyone, right? And at one point, when the anger went away, finally the acceptance came. And I asked myself, okay, if I created this reality, can I recreate this reality? Well, if they say
Mhm.
you created, I can recreate it. Okay, so how do I recreate this reality? And the answer came from masters, the yogis or huge yoganandas, which has nothing to do with neuroscience. This is not how I started, where he talks about, yeah, you can create your reality. You have to just focus your thoughts on it.
Mm.
And I'm like, okay, how do I do it? Well, you meditate. And when I start meditating, it was just, oh, my mind was all over the place. And I found myself struggling with meditation. However, actually, I noticed that everything is more clear for me. So I began the road. I found a job that actually finally interests me. I became a personal trainer. I started to enjoy my work, enjoy interactions with people, and start helping them to achieve their goals. However, every time we would work on something, like different types of goals, whether it was weight loss or just regular workouts, it was like hitting this invisible wall. Because yeah, motivation is great, pumping yourself up to do things, it's great, but few days later I would find my clients and myself to actually go down the hill. I stopped meditating, my clients would also crash and burn. So I was thinking, I was first again blaming myself, maybe I don't have enough training. So I took more courses, read more books. I started blaming my clients, of course, the blame game again. But at one point I was like, you know what? I need to stop doing it, because it's not us. It's not really the part of us that keeps that invisible wall. I didn't know what it was yet, but I was on a mission to find out what it was. And it wasn't until I found another amazing book, The Power of the Power of Subconscious Mind, and of the was Joseph Powell, and he talked about how everything that we do is being um, driven by our subconscious mind. And I was like, well, what is that subconscious mind? Because he doesn't really give much explanation of that. And I started to do a little bit more research about what is that subconscious mind and what role it plays. And actually, the neuroscience gave me a lot of explanation. But it wasn't until I actually found the method that I'm working with, PSYCH-K. But I had to really learn about the differences between the conscious and subconscious mind, because truly what was the key is starting to work with that part of the mind that all our blocks are in, like they're programmed and so on. Yeah.
Okay, all right. So that's a great segue. I'm so curious about this. So let's just put us all on equal footing, so that, because there are probably a lot of people out there who don't, like you, when you started exploring this, you weren't really sure what the subconscious mind is versus the conscious mind. So let's just do a little dictionary moment here. Tell us explain to us the differences.
Mhm.
What are the between the conscious and the subconscious mind?
Mhm. So I love to compare conscious mind and subconscious mind to a computer. We all know computers. We use computers, most of us, almost every day. And it's a very great analogy to use. So when we think about conscious mind is that part of our mind that is volitional. And we talk about free will. That's the part of our mind that has the free will. Why? Because it's our conscious mind that sets goals, and we can basically give ourselves any goal that we would like to achieve. And that's the part of the mind that sets these goals and judges the results, because it's important to have that knowledge if the path we took was the great path, or we change the course, right? So that considerations is important. However, when it comes to the subconscious mind is habitual. So what does that mean? It loves habits, and it's really good, because when we learn how to walk, we have to learn it one time, and now we don't have to think about it, right? So it's not only how we walk or or the talking or writing, but also driving a car. So we all remember when we were learning how to drive a car. The first time we were driving, we had to be really focused. Don't talk to me. You had to really pay attention to the road because you were learning. However, nowadays, after having some, nowadays when you drive, you can have your girlfriend on a call and you drive to the destination. An hour later, guess what? You look around and you're in the place where you were supposed to go. Who was driving the car? Well, it was your subconscious mind, because it's habitual. So that means that also it operates your body functions, your immune system, your motor function, your digestion. You don't really have to think about digesting, right? Because it's all it's the role of your subconscious mind. Now, when it comes to the time, think about that subconscious mind is always here and now. And why is it here and now? Because it's always monitors your functions. You cannot digest in 2 weeks, right? Or you cannot brief yesterday, because for the subconscious mind, everything is here and now. And for the conscious mind, because it sets the goals and judges the results, it's all the time in the past or in the futures. It keeps on jumping past, future, past, future. And so when we meditate, let's say, it's really what we're trying to bring in this here and now. It's our conscious mind. Sometimes I call conscious mind a monkey because because it keeps on jumping from tree to the tree of what I will eat today, what did I do yesterday, what I will do in 2 weeks, what is my goal for 5 years, what happened 5 years ago. Okay, so when we try to meditate, truly be here and now, it's like taking that monkey and making this monkey sit in one place. And monkey doesn't like that because, well, it doesn't exist. And if we just stop paying attention, guess what monkey will do? It will be on 5 trees within a few seconds. So basically, average person has about 60 to 70,000 different thoughts a day. Imagine that. So what is another, when we talk about another difference between conscious and subconscious mind, think about conscious mind like it's your short-term memory. It's the neuroscience talks about that it's up to 20 seconds. I think mine is 10 seconds, I swear. Because here's the thing. And I bet it happened to all of us. You go to the kitchen, you live and you're in the kitchen, and then you stop and you think, oh my gosh, why am I here? What happened? Like, I know I wanted to do something and I just forget that. And then so I go back and then I would be like, oh, I just wanted to have a glass of water. But I forget that because between my living room and kitchen, it takes few seconds to get there, and my mind just jumps from one thought to another thought. So that short-term memory is just by the time I'm in the kitchen, I was already in some different places. So I just wanted to say we are okay. It's nothing wrong with you, nothing wrong with us. It's just our short-term memory. Okay. And when it comes to the subconscious mind, it's completely different deal, because subconscious mind is our long-term memory. Basically, from the moment of our conception to here and now, our subconscious mind remembers everything. It stores everything and registers everything from our experiences. It also remembers our all the situations we've been through, and values and beliefs. Everything is in this long-term memory. And there are some people like my husband. He has a really great memory that he can recall. Like, he would tell me which restaurant we went to 7 years ago and what I've ordered and what I was wearing. And that's incredible. However, he trained that because he's a writer. So writers need to, they train their mind to recall things. However, subconscious mind remembers everything. So why is it important? It's important because if our beliefs are in the subconscious mind, that means that everything that we believed in the past is still within subconscious mind, and it might not reflect what we want in our life right now. However, before I go further, 1 second. Let's talk about another difference between conscious and subconscious mind. Again, remember, it's like a computer. So when it comes to the conscious mind, it can process 1 to 3 different events at the time. What does that mean? That means that we can watch our favorite show, and we can make notes. Let's say the list of tasks that we need to do for our work tomorrow. So we can really basically multitask between what we're writing down the list and watching the show. But here's the thing: if our partner is going to come to us and start talking to us, probably we're going to miss something. So now we have a choice. Okay, I can stop writing, and now watching the show, maybe something is interesting here. So am I going to listen to my partner or show? So sometimes we play that game with my partner when I would say something and he would say like, uh-huh. And I know that he's not listening because he's working on something in his mind. So I would joke, so did you hear what I said? And sometimes he would say yes, and sometimes like, I have no idea. It's because your conscious mind can process 1 to 3 tasks at the same time. However, when it comes to the subconscious mind, it can operate thousands of events at the same time. So think about how many events it takes to digest, or how many events takes to operate our heart, or our heart rate, or our immune system. How many viruses and bacteria our subconscious mind is fighting every moment. We don't need to stop when we're talking, right? We can talk, we can walk, we can do many different things, and everything that is happening within our system is still happening because subconscious mind can operate up to thousands of events at the same time, which is incredible, right? So this is the difference. Conscious mind, 1 to 3 events at the time. Subconscious mind, thousands of events at the same time. And
Okay, let me stop you there because
yeah,
you just laid on a lot of stuff for us to
hmm,
think about.
yeah,
So, as you're talking, I am thinking about how you said the subconscious mind is habitual.
yes,
I love that
hmm,
description of it because it is where our beliefs and
hmm,
habits have
hmm,
been programmed into us
yeah,
from the moment you said, even at inception,
yeah,
um, and we remember all of that
yeah. On a subconscious level.
on a
Hmm.
subconscious level,
So we are not aware. Yeah.
sometimes to our benefit and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
sometimes to our detriment.
Correct.
So when we struggle with
Hmm.
challenges and roadblocks
Yeah.
that in the here and now,
Mm-hmm.
uh, there's stuff working in the background that we don't necessarily
Are aware of.
remember,
Mm-hmm.
understand how we got here, why we feel this way. And that's the power of understanding, or doing the self discovery,
Correct.
so
Correct.
that we can kind of root out the things that in our background, in our lives, that have
Mhm,
caused us
mhm,
to end up where we are. You said you've crashed and burned a few
mhm,
times. So
mhm,
how did we get there?
mhm.
What were some of the things, the traumas, right?
Yeah,
Or the belief system we were raised with.
yeah.
And now as adults, we have different choices.
We think we do. And yet, if our beliefs are not aligned with our dreams and with our desires, it feels like it's almost impossible, or it's really hard road to get there. And as you mentioned, yes, we are being programmed when we are children, and especially, and neuroscience talks about it as well. And approximately until we are 7 years old, our brain is set to theta waves. Theta waves are very interesting because those are waves of our brain that allows us to do super learning. Super learning means that we learn with all of our senses. So we have to touch everything, smell everything, taste everything, right? Kids do that. But what they are doing, what we're doing, actually, we're learning.
Yeah.
So here's the thing. Yes, having great habits is great, but think about it. If you grew up in the house when you had messages from your parents that you need to work really hard to succeed. Okay. Or money doesn't grow on trees, or uh, um, people who have money or first million, they had to stole it. So basically, somebody who is abundant is a thief, and you get these messages on your subconscious mind. So subconscious mind actually is gonna replay that over and over again,
Yeah.
and yeah, and so it's gonna keep you away from being abundant, and you will find yourself working hard. Like I work very hard for my money, and yet I was living paycheck to paycheck because my parents lived paycheck to paycheck. So I thought that this is exactly how it's supposed to be on the subconscious level, because on the conscious level we all want to, right, feel abundant and have
But
yes.
we don't know how. We until we dig into that, right?
Yeah.
So let's talk about what was some. I know you've done a lot of personal development work. Uh, what tools have you tried?
Mhm.
And you talked about meditating. But
Yes.
what other tools have you tried? And which are the ones you found most effective when working with the subconscious mind to reprogram it so
Mhm.
that it serves us better today in the here and now?
Mhm. Yeah, meditation is one of them. I It really helped me to calm my brain down, calm my mind down, have more energy. um and it still was work. It was still hard work. And some meditation teachers say you have to wake up 4 a.m. in the morning and meditate. And that was completely not for me. So I was doing meditation, and yet I felt guilty because I was not doing it how I was supposed to doing it. So then I found journaling. Journaling is one of those tools where you take all your thoughts and you start writing them down. It was a great thing to do because it gave me again more clarity about the things that I want to do and the things that I don't want to do. And yet it was, yeah, I put my thoughts on the paper and I had more clarity, and yet I still was hitting that invisible wall. I felt like there was still missing something. Then I learned about affirmations. I think this is one of the most popular tools to use. Affirmations like I am successful, I am abundant. And with those, I was repeating them in the morning just after I was awake about 50 times, and then in the evening about 50 times, and I was repeating it over and over and over again. And I started to see some changes, yet it was still hard work because I had to remember to do it immediately after waking up, or and after before I went to sleep. And I still wasn't sure if it is in my subconscious mind. That I had no proof that I would program what I wanted to program in that part of me that it's responsible for my, I would say, autopilot, right?
Right.
So it was okay, but still was not good enough. Then I learned self hypnosis. It was incredible, I have to tell you. I was able to really program my mind to, I think I went crazy there because I wanted to see how far I can go with it. And so I stopped drinking coffee. I started drinking alcohol. I was really, really active. I had lots of energy. I was getting more clients. However, again, to program one belief, it was, I had to take this one program, like, or one affirmation, and then repeat it 3 times a day for about 2 weeks. So again, I was doing it, but it took a lot of work. And then I could see that it wasn't that really lasting. That did not last. It would last for a few months, and then I felt like I reverted. But I
Mm.
could see I was on a good path. Like, yes, this is it. And I need something that is faster and doesn't take so much work and is just lasting. So that, yeah.
Yeah, you know what? So many people do what you have done, though myself included, right? Tried the meditation. I can't tell you how many of my clients who say, I can't meditate. I can't calm my mind. I can't stop thinking about everything else that's going on in my life while I'm supposed to be sitting quietly, calming my mind, erasing all thoughts and all of that. Yeah, so it is hard.
Yeah,
It's hard.
it's hard. Yeah.
And then journaling is great. I love that you tried that. I do it a lot, but uh, it's once you get the thoughts out on paper, then what?
Exactly. Then
Right?
what?
Then what? So, right. We've all struggled with this. And then the affirmations. Affirmations are lovely.
Mhm.
And having positive thoughts in your head and talking to yourself, your self talk in a very positive way is really good practice. But you got to believe,
Yes.
right? You got to believe. You got to put some faith and belief behind that
Yeah.
in order for affirmations to be anything more than beautiful words that, make you feel good in the moment.
Yeah. So
And
again,
then
it's
the self hypnosis I have not tried. So, that's something I may explore, but I know you've got something else that you were led to. I mentioned it in the introduction. So tell us a little bit about PSYCH-K. What is that method?
mm. So before I talk about PSYCH-K, I will tell you the biggest thing that actually PSYCH-K introduced me to is that power of the subconscious mind, which neuroscience backs it up. Because we talk about the power, comparing subconscious mind and conscious mind to the computer. So we have this last, but very important information to learn about the difference between conscious and subconscious mind and its processing capacity. It's speed of processing information. It's about power as a computer. How fast is that computer? How powerful this computer is? And so neuroscience says that conscious mind's processing capacity, it's 40 bits information per second. Okay, 40 bits information per second. So let's remember this number because subconscious mind average information of processing is 40 million bits per second. It's 1 million times more powerful than the conscious mind. So that's why it's so difficult and so hard to change anything in our beliefs and emotions because we try to do it with our conscious mind that is million times more less powerful than our subconscious mind.
Wow.
So here's the good news. We are not lazy. We are not stupid. It's just we were using computer that is million times less powerful to reprogram computer that is million times more powerful. And
Hmm.
this one was the huge aha moment happened. And this is where I found PSYCH-K. And basically it means the key to your subconscious mind, and it's incredible tool. Basically when I learned about this tool first, I said this is impossible. My belief was that it has to take a long time and effort to change anything, and in PSYCH-K method it takes few seconds to few minutes to change your subconscious mind. So my belief just told me like, nope, this is not cannot work. So I rejected it for 6 months. I just turned off my computer, the website, and I said, no, this cannot work. This is a scam. But it took me 6 months, and my fiance finally said, like, listen, you've been talking about this modality for 6 months. How about you just go and figure it out and see if it works or it doesn't work? And I'm like, okay, and I didn't even try a session. I went straight to the workshop. And during the first day, I was shocked how incredible this modality works, because I was already able to start changing this my beliefs, and I was actually getting feedback. So what is PSYCH-K? PSYCH-K is a mind technology that allows us to reprogram any limiting beliefs that we have, to help us to reprogram any trauma or stress or anxiety within a few seconds to a few minutes. And I started my journey with Psyche in 2016, and my career, my life have changed. If somebody would tell me that 10 years ago, that from the bottom I would have amazing life, amazing career, and I will be teaching others how to do it, I would say it's impossible. But I know now that everything is possible.
Oh, I love that. I love that she left us with that very uplifting thought.
Mm-hmm.
Because a lot of people are going to think what you thought, that it's not. I've tried for years. I've tried all of these things and they haven't worked. Or they've worked for, like you said, they've worked for a little while, and then it's like I hit a plateau, or I reverted back to my old pattern of thinking.
Yeah.
Which is really easy to do,
Yes.
right? When we haven't changed or reprogrammed, actually, the way we think about things.
Yeah.
So this is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to hear a little bit more about how the belief. So your fiance said, go prove yourself right or wrong and check this thing out. You've been talking about it for 6 months. So you proved that you were wrong, right?
Yes.
And that it could work.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, it did. So tell us a little bit about how it has influenced your career and your personal development by working with the Psych-K method.
After my first workshop, I immediately started to work with my clients. And because I was already a health coach, and I told them, hey, I have this amazing new tool. Would you like to try it? And after first session, they would say to me, you know what? This session gave me more than the therapy that I was going to for the last 15 years. And to me, at the beginning, I could not believe because I believed, but I couldn't. So it was, again, proving that this modality is so powerful. So one point, I just left everything behind. I left personal training, coaching behind, and I started just using Psych-K method with all of my clients. So my practice, I just exploded because people were just sending me more and more people, because they were able to overcome really difficult roadblocks, often within one session. And what happened with me, I was basically I loved my career, because it's amazing to see people who are changing their lives. I was doubling my income for every year for the last 7 years. I'm sorry, 7. Yeah, 7 years, doubling my income. And I couldn't even believe, because every year I felt like I'm working less and less. So I would think, oh, I'm going to earn less this year. And then at the end of the year, I was, wow, actually my income was better than the year before. It's because I programmed in myself, instead of I have to work hard to be successful, actually I programmed the less I work, the more I earn. And hey, why not? If everything is possible, you create your reality, why not work this way? Why not come up with this kind of beliefs? Because again, I love testing everything and prove, like you said beautifully, prove myself right or wrong. And especially with creating reality, I love to push the boundaries. So it really helped me to and my clients to overcome in amazing ways, very difficult challenges. Um, in a private life, my husband went through cancer, and it was very tough time for us. However, having this beautiful tool allowed us to be at peace with anything that can happen. And I was not aware how helpful this tool was in my life until I was at the hospital and I was waiting with the partners of people who were going through the treatment. And I looked around, and all of those partners, they were tired. They looked themselves like they were sick, and because they were just exhausted. And when I was thinking like, oh my gosh, actually I feel good, I have all the energy I need, and it felt like I was in the middle of the storm, like, they call it the being in the eye of the storm, where inside is peaceful and things are happening, but you are actually taking the right decisions and staying in a peace and calm, so you can actually help your close one even better. So I was there for him. He created beliefs for him that he heals uh, easily and naturally, and actually doctors were shocked how he beautifully healed and faster than other people. So it was above the average. So truly, this tool is still helping me in everyday life, whether it's my career or whether it's my personal life. I cannot tell you enough how it's changed my
Those are
life.
powerful testimonies, I think, for the journey you've been on. And so many of us are on similar journeys, and
Mhm.
we struggle with those limiting beliefs, those
Mhm.
things that pop up in our subconscious mind, right? And we
Yeah.
think we're thinking them consciously. But they're stopping us. There are roadblocks. There are you can't, words like you
Yeah.
can't do that. That won't work.
Yeah.
Tried that before. It didn't work then, won't work now.
Mhm.
Stuff like that. And for us to hear your story is so empowering, and it is so a little unbelievable,
It is, isn't it?
right?
Yes.
Like you said, when you first heard about it, that
Yeah.
can't work. How can that work? It's a scam.
Mhm.
But you now teach this
Yes.
in group classes and online, correct?
In person and online, correct. And the most important, well, it's not most important, but what is very important, this modality is with us almost 37 years. So
So it's been around a while.
it's been around a while. Exactly. It's just blessing to be able to teach this to it, because I think everyone should have this modality in their pocket. You don't really once you learn it, you don't need me, you don't need anyone, you just use it yourself, because it's so simple to use and yet powerful. Because
Yeah.
people, I know about myself, I when I saw how simple it was, I was like, no, this cannot work. But
Yeah.
I learned that simplicity is divine. So let's keep it divine, because we human, again, limiting belief,
Yeah.
to be to how do we say it, um it has to be complicated, right? It has, in order to work, or to be worthy to get, like, oh, the more complicated it is, more difficult it is,
Right.
right?
The better.
The better.
Yeah.
And
The better. Yeah. We're not taught that. easy is good.
No.
Simple is good. If it's not, like computers, right?
Mhm.
Computers are not easy. Technology is not easy for most of us.
Mhm.
There are some people who just spend their lives, like my producer of the show, who is a proclaimed geek and loves this stuff, but
Mhm.
it's not easy for most of us.
Mhm.
So when we think about things that are presented as simple and easy, then I think we are kind of pre-programmed to think can't be good, can't be right, can't be enough.
Yeah,
It can't
exactly.
be, yeah, it can't do what it claims to do.
Correct.
Yeah. So I
But it
am, I'm so grateful that I met you and that you had the faith with a little nudge from your fiance at the time to just go explore this and then share with us that there is another tool out there. And I am all for all kinds of tools. Some work for some work better for others. It doesn't really matter what works as long as you find something that works. And I love that you shared um, about PSYCH-K with us and the power it has had over your personal and professional life. The story about your husband and his ability to heal faster from his cancer. Is he well now?
He is. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah,
He
that's
also
a
went to the
blessing.
workshop. He now has this modality for himself because he's like, you don't need me. Come on, learn that. So he finally did. But it's just beautiful to
Yeah,
see him healthy and
I'll bet. I'll bet. What a blessing. What
Mhm.
advice would you give someone who's considering, they're hearing us talk about this, that someone who's considering PSYCH-K as a tool for overcoming whatever it feels like they're facing right now?
First of all, remember that you have all the power, all the knowledge, and all the wisdom you need to change your life.
Mm,
You do create your reality, whether you are aware of it or not. So it's important to always take responsibility for our choices. And not making a choice is also a choice.
mhm.
So remember that your life is every day, it's yours. So you can be the captain of your ship and start making choices that will bring you closer to your dream life. So whether you believe it or not, giving it a try is what you can do the best for yourself. I give it a try and I never looked back. So that's the most important. You're a powerful person. You just have to remember that.
I love that. That is such a great message. Yeah, we create our own reality. And I love what you just said too. I've said this before myself. Um, you have the power to choose. And by not choosing, that's a choice too,
Yeah.
right? And it's just accept that, right?
Mhm.
Just be aware. Just be aware of what you're choosing to do. Love that.
Exactly.
Adelajda, I know that lots of people are going to want to get in touch with you and chat with you more. So, what is the one best way they can do that?
It's
Oops.
it's
Yeah.
through my website. It's adachild.com, adachild.com. And I am there waiting for you. If you have any questions, you can book consultation. If you have any other questions about PSYCH-K, you can find all the informations there.
I love that. Thank you so much for being here. This has been an enlightening conversation for me, and I hope for everyone who's watching and listening today, or in their in the on demand version of this. Um, this has been loaded with great information, and I knew it would be, and I'm just so grateful for you to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And for those of you who are in our audience today, I want you to know how much I appreciate that you are a part of our community. So if you enjoyed this episode, please subscribe, leave a comment, click a star, let us know what you think. Creating and sharing resources for women is just one of my favorite things to do. And every episode of the show is that, a resource for someone out there. Another favorite thing is to be a career and life coach for women navigating challenging times and helping them get unstuck, explore new possibilities, and find harmony in their careers and lives. So if something in this episode resonated with you and you want to a fresh perspective, reach out. Let's chat. The links to connect with Adelajda and I are in the notes below. So let's meet again next Thursday, same time, same place, 10 a.m. Pacific time, for another inspiring conversation. Because you know what? I believe it's our time to thrive. So let's thrive together. Till next time, I'm Maria Tomás-Keegan, helping you turn transition into triumph.